Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of the Monday Market Report. This is for the week ending December 12th, 2021. In this video, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a look at the top coins that have sold at auction this week. Of course, all of our efforts are being examined on greatcollections.com, one of the premier auction houses for coins and currency. If you guys are looking to sell your nice coins and currency, you could always consign with them. The good news is they got low fees, and most importantly, they could get your coins listed in probably less than 7 days. It's very quick. You don't have to wait for the next big show for your high-profile coins to be sold. But anyways, that's my little bit of a plug for Great Collections, probably because I really like their website and their format and just the way that they go about their business. Way better than eBay, and that's why I like to highlight coins on this website. I'm your host, Sean, by the way, in case we didn't cover that, or maybe you missed it from the last 1,700 or so videos I've done. But yeah, the market seems to be just robust. We have a number of varieties, ladies and gentlemen, that will kick it off here on this video. They're just simply amazing. If you're looking for coins that are truly chase pieces, like big time trophies, this is kind of like what the best case scenario would be for a lot of these coins. You find a really nice high graded double die of something, or a repunchment mark, or an overdate, or an overmint mark, and you are rolling to Fat City. That's for sure. From what I've seen, all the graded material these days has been overperforming. Still, there are a few specific series that aren't nearly as high on the table for the market. Things like 2 and 3 cent pieces still kind of like underwhelm the marketplace, save for some of the high graded examples or some of the rarities. But overall, those are a couple of underwhelming series. But in this particular case, what we showcase on the MMR are going to be post-1900 moderns, all graded, of course. In one way or the other, the registry market has certainly influenced the prices of a lot of these compared to just a general collector or investment group that buys into these coins. All right, so without further ado, how about we go ahead and jump into the first set of coins. We got 20 this week, which is a pretty hefty number, but it just goes to help illustrate just how busy it was this week. But we're going to start off with, of course, one of the marquee doubled dies of the 1980s. This is, of course, the 1984 Lincoln Memorial set. This one is the doubled ear, so you can see that other second earlobe right here. There's no mistaking this variety. This is a coin that not to be played around with, that's for sure. Because an example in just the right grade will surprise you for sure. I mean, check this one out. This is a Mid-State 68 Plus red. All right. Furthermore, it's CAC certified. We all know that plays a huge role in the value of some of these coins, but this is kind of like the best case scenario here. If you were able to find one and it looks as good as this, keep in mind, even coins at this grade level will exhibit, some of the pebbling or the plating blisters that you see on this example. This one managed to sell for $5,962.50. Obviously, that's the type of coin that seems like it would be tailored for a registry set, although if you're looking for a top pop example for your variety set or as a type coin, all right, this one will probably fit just as well into those. And the same would go for this 1972. Now, keep in mind, there are a number of double dies to look for in 1972, most specifically the Philadelphia minted examples, but there are also a few double dies in the Denvers as well. But more well known is, of course, this example with just the crazy doubling that you see in the motto "In God We Trust" on Liberty. There's no mistaking that. And of course, a date. This is about as wild and knotted up as you will find in any modern type of Lincoln cent variety. It rivals the 69S and probably the next coin on the list as well. But this one right here, ladies and gentlemen, at 67 plus is a top end coin. It's also CAC certified as well. And I'm happy to say that this one managed to steal the show at $8,831.25. It just seems like these top end, high graded examples just continue to kind of like push that envelope for like a high end sale. And this one, only $1,200 away from 10 grand is worthy of a conversation for sure. Now here's the other one. The 70S large date, of course, has a pretty dirty secret, and that's this double die obverse. It's FS101 in the Cherry Picker's Guide. This is just a beast of a coin. It is what I would consider to be even more rare than the 69S. Of course, that is speculative at this point, and just part of the rumorville. The rumor windmill just flying at pace. But this coin right here is a true rarity. It's not nearly as crazy as the 72 that we saw before it, and not nearly as crazy as the 69S. But this is a good coin right here. This one graded mint state 65 red through PCGS. You can see all the other data regarding this variety on the label as well. And this one sold for $7,036.88. Just the first three modern Lincoln cent varieties that we talked about eclipses $20,000. There's big money in this series, primarily due to the fact that it is one of the most widely collected and widely, invested in series of modern coins. And it's not going to change. If you guys are getting into this series, there's a lot of stoppers. The first three certainly are just that. All right, so as we get into more of the regular type of stuff that's normally accustomed to being on the Monday Market Report, namely some of these high-graded registry set coins, we have a 1959 Lincoln Memorial. This, of course, is the first date of this new reverse design. This one, mid-state 67 red, is your prototypical registry set coin. Not a lot of these come up at auction. It's understandable. Finding one anything above 65 can be a challenge. This one right here, by the way, is part of the Ammo Man PCGS registry set of Lincoln cents. So over the course of a few weeks, Great Collections was consigned the opportunity to sell off one of the big registry sets. So this is part of that one. This one right here also adorned in the 30th anniversary original green holder label, which was offered through PCGS as kind of a throwback. This one sold for $1,040.62. And then another one here for the registry set. This is a 53 this time, a much tougher date to find with those clean surfaces. This one right here, another 67 red. Generally, Lincoln cent registries need that mint state 67 and higher to compete in the top like 10 people that do actually participate in a Lincoln cent registry. This one right here is no exception. Any Philadelphia early 50s minted Lincoln wheat cent is going to be one of the tougher chase pieces in the Lincoln cent series as a whole. There are a lot of coins, especially in 1950, 51, and 52, that are just absolute bombs in the 67 and higher. This one, as you would expect, is another Ammo Man registry set coin. This one sold for $1,996.88. And here you go. Here's that 1950 that I was talking about earlier. This one is a beauty. It's got that sunset kind of like light reddish toned appearance to not only the obverse but the reverse of the coin. This one has loads of eye appeal, and that's probably why I like this one above and beyond all the other registry set coins on today's video. But this one right here, again, the stats matter. Mid-state 67 red. This is going to be a high point system type of coin in those registry sets. And of course, this is another Ammo Man registry set coin sold this past week. And it sold for $4,621.50. We're pretty heavy on Lincoln cents this week. We have 2 more Lincolns, and that's like the first 8 coins of this week, and that's why we have 20 for the total video. But how about your key date 1931S? A lot of these are available in AU condition, all the way up to, I would say, mid-state 65, in all various colors, you know, from brown to red. But when we get into like this territory where it's like beyond a 65, now we're talking like heavy hitter material. This is a 66 plus red. And then furthermore, to kind of help accentuate the value of a coin like this, it's also CAC certified. This coin right here, just a huge coin, really, in all aspects. Sold for $8,156.25. And another big one, 1920s is getting some love, and they usually get tons of love from the respective Lincoln cent community, especially when one comes up full red. You just don't see that often in these 1920s branch mint coins, being Denver and San Francisco coins. This one right here, much tougher date. This one is a mid-state 65 red. I mean, this is about as good as it gets. I've talked about just overall quality during the 20s was subpar, to say the least, and it shows in a lot of the quality of the planchets, especially when you get into like right around 1926 and earlier. You really begin to see the warts of the Great Depression age of coinage. But this one right here, again, probably fits and is better suited for a registry set. And speaking of which, this one did come from the Ammo Man registry set as well. And this one sold for $8,156.25. The exact same amount of money as the 31S that we saw before it. So, you know, 1 whole grade point lower than the 31S, and that's considered a key date. This one is not really a key date, but considering that it's a full red example, that's where a lot of the rarity is with this coin. All right, finally, we're jumping into a completely different denomination, starting with 1963. So this is not a rarity in the sense of mintage, all right? Many hundreds of millions of pieces of 63s were produced. However, finding one that had a relatively full strike, and as you guys know, these early 60s and 1950s Jefferson nickels seem to suffer from the same thing year in and year out. Okay, you have weak strikes, you have those bad deteriorated dies that you hear so much about, and it's lusterless. A lot of these coins feature less than appealing luster. This one right here doesn't have what I would consider to be the best luster, more so on the obverse than the reverse. But take a look at the grade. I mean, there's no denying that this one is just straight up registry set material. I would never, ever, ever invest in a coin like this for any reason outside of, you know, pursuing a fine registry set. 67 full steps. So this one right here, ladies and gentlemen, sold for $4,275. And it's same with this one. This is a 61, however. A much tougher date than the 63. 61 and 62 are some of your much more tougher dates to find with full steps. This one actually graded out as 66, so grade point lower. This one shows a little bit better luster than the previous coin. But again, it's an imperfect coin, but you guys got to understand a little bit of data. Okay, first and foremost, that's how tough this particular coin is to find in full steps when there are only 25 total pieces graded with full steps. And that goes all the way back to like mid-state 62 or whatever that low grade is with full steps, all the way up to the top pop for this coin, which is a 67 plus full steps. There's only one graded at that grade level. There's no 67s and no 66 pluses. So this is the next best coin right here. And because of that, The rarity is just off the charts. And this one sold for $10,518.75. If I could find these in circulation all day long, man, that would be like the easiest, like really, really just amazing amount of money to make. But again, we live in a perfect world where some of the coins that were crafted by man are not perfect at all. And this is just a testament, a true example of just how crazy the coin market can get. All right, so we got 1942. Now, this is more my speed. I like the earlier, older, Jeffersons, that go into the Civil Wartime era. Now, this is a 1942 Philadelphia struck example. It's beautiful. I like this one. It's not too distracting in a sense that it's all beat up. I mean, this one is a really nice coin. This one grades out 67 plus, and that's with full steps. And you notice it says Type 1. And what that means is this is the first few years of the actual Jefferson nickel before it actually transformed into the 35% silver manganese Silver Wartime era coins. So the Type 1s go from 38 to 42. These have the mint mark, if they did have a mint mark, for Denver and San Francisco, just to the right of Monticello on the building. So it's right there at that base. But this one right here, just a beautiful registry set coin, and it sold for $4,925.25. Now, this has some crazy, crazy toning on the obverse. 1935S, even looks like it might be an RPM. Kind of hard to tell. But, sometimes these pictures, will kind of trick the eyes a little bit. But the toning in the deepest recesses of the devices of this coin is what gives it a unique look. And yeah, it's legit. I've seen a few coins like this, and for whatever reason, they seem to command a little bit more money in the marketplace than one with what I consider regular, more involved toning. This one is a 67 plus. Again, the registry sets for Buffalo nickels is quite strong these days. It's also CAC certified as well. And this one sold for $7,200. Just an amazing amount of money. And of course, I love seeing one of these on the list. Liberty Head Nickel. This is a 12S. So this is like one of the key dates that you could possibly come across. They can be a little bit more affordable, but they're going to be in much lower grades like fines and VFs. To set you back a few $100. But this is a huge coin in the annals of, collectability. Typeset lovers will want this as well, along with registry set crowds that dabble into Liberty Head nickels. This one is a mint state 65. I mean, there's really nothing else that needs to be said. In case you're wondering, the mint mark is on the reverse underneath this one dot here to the left of cents. A beautiful coin. I love this thing. Sold for $2,306.25. All right, with all the coins we talked about, this one just kind of feels a little bit out of place. But you could also probably say the same about the 63 and 61 nickels as well. They just feel out of place for what I consider to be, like a high-end type coin. But sure enough, this one's in here. And obviously for registry set matters type sets. This one is a 68 full bands, full torch. Kind of hard to believe that this one would even make it on the list, but there are people that are engaged in a registry set of Roosevelts, and this is probably a coin that doesn't come up too often. It sure doesn't. This one right here sold for $1,341.24. But beauty contest-wise, this 46D wins out most assuredly. Originality counts. The grade is quite high. 68 full bands is nothing. This is going to be making its way into a registry set. And it's a great home to be in, for sure. So again, this is just another registry set coin with a lot of originality, with that toning on there. The reverse is much more spectacular than the obverse. And this one realized $3,881.25. More originality with a Mercury dime this time, a 1928 Philadelphia. Now, keep in mind, a coin like this, yeah, it's Philadelphia, and some would even say that, it's not as rare as what meets the eye, but it really is. In terms of, finding a coin that grades out at a 68 deep into the Mercury dime series. It's not a 1940s, which would kind of change the game a little bit. But this is a 28, it's a much earlier coin. Again, finding one with a full strike, especially in a Denver or San Francisco, is just tough. This is a tough coin right here. 68 full split bands, and it looks like it. It looks good. It's got some of their original just archived toning. What else do you need to say? This is an ultimate piece right here for any type of set or investment. This one sold for $17,550. The older you get in Mercury dimes, keep in mind it's like one of the only most popular series on the face of the earth. That, man, you're really going to be asking for it. Now, if you're a collector or if you're a cherry picker, this is like a huge series to cherry pick. Any San Francisco minted coin that you could find with full split bands are going to be some of the most bountiful, most valuable coins that you will ever come across. All right, we're going to wrap it up with 4 different quarters. How about 1990D? Now, obviously, this one's here for a registry set. It's a 67 plus, which is a high-end grade. This is probably a top pop, and that's the big reason why that this one's here. I remember seeing these back in the day, and I couldn't help myself but to spend these things because they were so commonplace. People were just complacent with the design, and that's the big reason why that not a lot of these were saved in rolls and bags in the highest condition. They were just not meant to be because they were, in a sense, unspectacular and common. But these days, there's a lot more value with finding coins that have been saved at the highest level. This one is beautiful, and that's why it sold for $2,643.75. If I had one like this and had graded it and it came back at this grade, I would sell it right away. Take that money and, put it into something much more meaningful. But anyways, when we get into the next coin here, it gets even more crazy. 63D, another common, minted into oblivion, Washington quarter. Yeah, it's 90% silver, but still not hard to find. Very nice mint state grade. Examples of this coin. Now, this is a tough date and grade. 67 plus is a bomb, all right? It's not quite 62D or 61D, and those coins in this similar grade would fetch 5 figures. This one, however, managed to peter out $4,624.88. And by the way, I was being facetious. That's actually a lot of money for this coin. Or how about this one? I haven't cherry-picked one of these in quite some time. Or maybe it's because I haven't been really actively looking, but if you're looking for a really great, very equitable coin to cherry-pick, 1950 S over D, and even the D over S. So there's 2 different over mint marks that can be found on this date. And they're both very desired, and they're both very valuable. Even if they're not 67 stars like this NGC graded example you see here. So in terms of like maximum kind of like effort that you could expect for a high graded example of this over mint mark, man, I mean this thing in this grade, $7,918.88 if you're able to squeak by this same grade through PCGS, even without the star, maybe a plus, that'd be a $10,000 coin all day long. Again, it's all in perspective. This coin here would fit the need of not only registry set participants, but also your casual collector as well that's into like semi high-end coins, which is what this one fits into. And then finally, I just have to throw out a little bit of Standing Liberty quarter love. How about this 27S? A really tough date. As you can tell, this one is only a mint state 61. And I mean that loosely because, I've seen much higher graded specimens of any other date in the Standing Liberty Quarter Series, and they're just spectacular. This one is not what I would consider to be a spectacular grade, but the coin in itself is quite rare in mid-state grades, and that's why this one ends up on the list. It's not even a full head, and that says a lot here as well. This one is graded much earlier. It's in an old original green holder. You could tell just by the style of slab label. But how about this, guys? $8,719.88 is a tremendous amount of money for this coin. So if you do find one at a coin shop and they're asking like $300-400 and it looks something like this, man, I would consider kind of dropping some dime on that and sending it off to PCGS. And that's what they call cherry picking, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what a lot of people do. But that's going to go ahead and do it for your Monday market report for this Monday. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic December. We are less than 2 weeks away from Christmas. And the market is not slowing down. It's like a runaway freight train of just stupidity. Just the amount of money that's being thrown around for some of the most common dated coins cannot be understated. And yeah, if you got it, flaunt it, then sell it. And then, just smile and laugh all the way to the bank. That's what I would do, considering that most of the coins on this list are like unspectacular from a collector coin perspective. But I digress. That's my thoughts. That's going to go ahead and do it. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed today's video. My Coinaholics, you guys have a pleasant Monday. Don't work so hard. And stay tuned, by the way, for the live coin Q&A live stream on that channel, Live Coin Q&A. We'll be on 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern, and then everybody else in between. You guys know who you are. Your Mountain Time people and your Central Time people. You guys know where you're at there. Well, that's it, guys. You guys have a wonderful day. Take care, and love you. Thanks for all the support. So long.